Have you ever felt?
Are you listening? Damn.
What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Race to 100. I'm Neil Batang.
I'm Rich Thorcell, and we are on episode number 91.
We're on episode number 91. Excuse me. Episode number 91, and we've got 9 more to go. Thank you guys so much for contributing to our YouTube channel.
Oh man, we absolutely love the influx of, we see those thumbs up, the numbers rising. We love the support. We really appreciate it. Can't say enough about that. Thank you so much for tuning in. So let's get down to business.
And what business shall be today in lieu of the 2016 Summer Olympics happening in Rio?
The dengue ate all baby.
That's in Brazil.
No. It's in Brazil. Dingoes are native to Australia, and at the time that we're filming this right now, Australia is actually number 1 in the medal count, in the gold medal count. So
that's what you just did in Australia.
That's what I did in Australian accent. Anyway, but that's not what we're going to be talking about today.
We are going to be talking about just the state of Rio and what's currently happening there right now, despite the Olympics occurring. I don't know. It's been kind of crazy because
crazy is an understatement.
I was a very strong proponent for bringing the Olympics to Chicago. Perhaps I was being sentimental or biased, but I mean, everyone pretty much said the Olympics wouldn't work in Chicago because of the massive crime rates that happen here, especially during the summer. But if you look at what's happening in South America currently, they don't really have that much of a difference compared to here. So, Rick, why don't you touch base on some of the crazy stuff happening in Rio right now?
Basically, while the statistics for Zika, which was the main concern that a lot of people were fearing heading into Rio, have decreased. Actually, I was stunned by the numbers. They said 90% decrease in Zika cases, more or less the reason for that being that Rio, being in the southern hemisphere, is now in a winter period. You know,
so we've seen a 90% decrease in Zika cases over the span of 3 months, 9 months, 6 months?
6 months since the start of 2016.
Okay.
So that's not really the concern. The concern right now, which has been a concern since Rio got the Olympics, 3 or 4 years ago, has been the astronomical crime rate that has been perpetually cycling through. You have these outrageous numbers of crimes occurring. Something like it's out of every 100 people, 3 will be victimized by a crime, primarily robbery.
Or burglary.
Or burglary.
Yeah.
And you have stories making the rounds already. You had the two Australian Olympic coaches being held up at gunpoint. You have news crews with almost $500,000 of equipment stolen. It feels like chaos when it comes to walking around the streets. You have to be very, very careful of where you're at.
Yes.
And for all of the glitz and glamour that Rio has been trying to portray to the world, you still have to keep in mind that it's a pretty impoverished city in general. So there's this challenge that a lot of the Olympic organizers in Rio have been trying to negotiate, especially when it comes to relocation of these shanty towns that have been a part of the Rio culture for decades and decades. So you have a lot of relocation. So you have that increased sentiment of resentment. You also have the opportunists, because a lot of these shanty towns are run by organized crime. So you add in the component of tourists and underfunding for police forces and things like that. And I mean, really, it's natural that you would see an influx of crime.
Now, would you say that's the reason the Brazilian military has stepped in to protect the athletes coming from other countries to compete in the Olympics?
I mean, really, what other possible solution could there be? They weren't able to hire their quota of security forces. I think it was something like 20% of what they had initially estimated or what they had pledged to contribute to the Rio Games. So yeah, I mean the military has to play the role enforcers too. And obviously terrorism is a huge concern because on top of the petty crimes that are going on, you have plenty of people, ISIS especially, who will take advantage of any chance that they can get
when people traveling from other countries are in a vulnerable position. So for those of you guys who are unaware of this, vandals do exist outside of the United States.
What?
They are also in South America, in good old Rio de Janeiro of Brazil. A Spanish-speaking, no, they don't speak Spanish in Brazil. What's their? It's Portuguese. Portuguese is the official language of Brazil. I'm sorry, y'all.
The more you need to know.
The more you need to know, the better. But yeah, if any of you guys watching are in Brazil, please be careful where you are. I know I have friends at the Olympic Games.
Now, have you had a chance to see any of the Olympic events?
I saw Team USA, the basketball team.
Of course you did.
Completely annihilate
China.
The Chinese basketball team.
That was rough, man.
I watch basketball. I watch a little bit of swimming. I'll check out gymnastics and
Andrew Bogut's been holding up the Australian team.
Yeah, he's been doing his thing. He's been doing his thing, and he had choice words to say about his accommodations in Brazil.
Oh yeah. Did you see that the U.S. basketball team where they're staying?
Oh yeah. They've got they're not staying in the nicest of accommodations, are they? Lodging isn't necessary.
No, they are.
So they gave the U.S. basketball team a nice place to stay?
No, they basically rented out their own cruise liner. They're staying in a cruise liner so they can avoid Zika and all that.
That is absolutely tight. Shout out to good old Team US of A. Bring home the gold.
The best of the best, man.
But we already know what's about to happen.
Now it's funny because we may have seen a lot of these events, but on the first day of the Olympics, many spectators did not get to experience the same sort of joy that we may have.
Unfortunately.
Because of the security concerns, they only allowed a couple hundred people were able to bypass the security in time to actually catch some of the initial events. Yeah. So you had thousands and thousands of people waiting outside in boiling hot sun temperature to try and catch an event that they ultimately missed. So yeah, hopefully Rio is able to get their stuff together. This is not looking good.
Are there any other countries you like to watch play? Like, okay, if the U.S. doesn't do their thing, like I would like to see this country prevail in this sport or that country prevail in that.
It was funny when I was growing up. You know how Brazil has the world on their flag? I had thought before I knew anything about the Olympics that they were representing the world or something like that. That they were this team of the world because obviously they had a planet on their flag. So I always was favorable towards the accomplishments of the Brazilian folk.
Yeah. I would like to see the Cameroonians do their thing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they made the Olympics. And
we don't really have any Polish athletes who are up there.
Yeah, but I would like to see the Cameroonians do their thing in their respective events. I believe there are some Cameroonians running cross country, track and field, and also their national soccer team is pretty good. So big ups to you guys in Brazil. Hopefully you do your thing and can win some medals and bring back some support to the country. I mean, they've been kind of going through it as well out there in Africa with the threat of terrorism, third world country, etc. Things haven't been looking too bright.
And the Olympics are an opportunity for a country to have a little bit of national pride and a ray of light in situations that may seem precarious or unpleasant for them. So, U.S. is going through a lot of patriotism going on around here. I know we're rooting on Team USA. We're rooting on the Cameroonians. Yeah. If there's any Polish athletes out there, if you will.
Shout out to the Polish athletes out there. So, with that being said, feel free to like, comment, or subscribe to our YouTube channel for more access to episodes of Race to 100. None of this would be possible without the strong contributions of our viewers and subscribers. We appreciate everything that you guys have done for us up to this point. Until next time, I'm Neil Batang. Rix, would you like to add anything else?
Well, we hope that the dingoes won't keep eating our babies on the next Race to 100. Peace.